What's up? This is Gardy with Clear Life Media, Clear Life Combat. We're in League City, Texas at the Clear Life HQ. I got some guests hanging out in studio. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. We're going to find out everything they got going on. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Good. I'm Houstin Marza, The Problem. I'll be fighting November 17th for Fury, so make sure y'all catch me on that. And yeah, that's pretty much for me.
Cool.
What's up? I'm Max Ward, representing Hardstyle Unlimited. Check us out on Instagram at Hardstyle_Unlimited. Here with Gardy and my guy Houstin Marza, our first sponsored fighter, 17 years old, coming to Rec Shop. It's all about the youth, so we're here to represent.
Yes. So, Houstin, I've heard a lot about you, and I had the chance to meet you in person last week, training over with Hayden, Josh, and Joel in Texas City. But there's been a lot of buzz, and people have been saying, man, this young guy, he's the real deal. You know, they're dogs, you know, coming up. Tell me about yourself.
Well, man, I'm 17, so I'm pretty young. I'm pretty new to the game. I've had a lot of experience, I'd say, in combat sports. I competed in Taekwondo from a young age when I was about 4. So I did that for a while. And then leading up to about like when I was 15, I would compete on like the Texas circuit. And I ended up winning a couple state championships in Taekwondo, which I don't think many people realize is my base. Many people think I'm pretty grapple heavy. But like, so when I was 15, I ended up going to 4 Ounce Fight Club. They have a shop right next door. So I was checking out gear there. I was kind of, getting some gear for some tournaments. And then I ended up talking to one of the coaches, Chico. He invites me over for sparring. Man, beat the crap out of me. But I just kept coming back. I kept coming, showing my face. And then I feel like consistency is what makes you the best, And I just think staying there, I've been at 4 Ounce for about 4 years now. So they really turned me into like a whole different look of a fighter. So I'd say that 4 Ounce, they definitely helped me sharpen up my grappling, my striking, my boxing, everything. So they made me the complete fighter and helped me move up through the ranks of the amateur.
How old were you when you started Taekwondo?
So when I started Taekwondo, I was 4.
Yeah, and you consistently trained from 4 to 15 or?
Pretty consistently. Mm-hmm. Like obviously not as hard as I train now, but definitely like I trained like after school I'd go, I'd be there for maybe 2 hours. And I'd say a lot of what I got from that was the flexibility for sure. Mm-hmm. We would stretch for like an hour. Like that was half of our practice. So that was pretty important.
How many fights do you have right now?
Right now I'm 2-0. So I fought for Fury. I fought for Fury in my first fight, and then on my second fight, I took a 2 weeks notice main event for Tapper Scrap. Yeah. And I fought for their BMF title.
And then now you are the BMF?
Yes, sir. Now I'm the BMF.
That's awesome. Max, when did you first get introduced to Houstin or see any of his stuff?
I'd seen his Instagram like 2 months ago, and then he'd hit me up, and then we were kind of going back and forth a little bit and kind of left him on red. And then Ivan from the gym hit me up. He's like, hey, Houstin said that you guys were talking. What's up, man? That dude's that's the next one up, So he put me on game with Houstin and started going back and forth with Houstin a little bit more. And then we got him some grappling gear. He got us some sick shots. Now he's going to get us a victory. So
Yes, sir.
Yeah, going into this next fight, what's the game plan?
Honestly, so from what I know right now is that he has experience striking and grappling, but it looks like he's more of a collegiate wrestler level kind of guy. So I'm going to be ready for him in the wrestling department. I got jiu-jitsu. If he takes me down, I'm going to submit him. If he can't take me down, then I'm going to knock him out on the feet. So honestly, I see maybe a second round finish, either on the feet or on the ground, either way.
Yeah, you're pretty comfortable wherever.
His jiu-jitsu's for real.
Sir. Yeah.
His jiu-jitsu's for real. Show me some videos. For real.
Yeah. Well, when jiu-jitsu and wrestling, and then you got to mix it all together, it's like grappling for MMA.
Right. Yeah.
It's almost like totally different, right?
Yeah, because there's some things you do in jiu-jitsu that work, but like in MMA, you're going to get punched in the face. You can't go for all the leg locks and all the fancy stuff. You got to really make sure that your style is honed to MMA. And I think I do a good job of that. I don't want to put out what I do too much. Y'all can see November 17th. Y'all see my game plan, but I definitely think that my style is more MMA oriented than just pure jiu-jitsu.
Right. And, last week whenever I dropped in and I was over there with Josh and Hayden filming for the fights that they have coming up, and I thought it's kind of like a big compliment, that Josh Altum, who is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, has, great submissions in the cage, and he's very high level, was just like, he was excited that you were there. Because he was like, man, no, I'm excited. I want to go with Houstin. Houstin's good. I want to get this look. And then also, like, whenever y'all were just very complimentary of you as well, I feel like that was pretty cool.
Yeah, man, Josh Altum, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They kind of took me in down here because I train in 4 ounce, but I live in Galveston. So it's cool to have local fighters that are high level and are willing to work with me. And yeah, I definitely appreciate him. He's helped me a lot with my grappling, and I appreciate when he gives me work like that. Because man, if I can grapple with black belts in the gym like that, when I'm fighting, people aren't gonna be like that. You know, no one's gonna tap me out like Josh Altum is. So if I can weather his storm, then I personally feel that when I step in the cage, I'm gonna be 100% ready to fight.
Yeah. So you're 17 right now, right?
Yes, sir.
When do you turn 18? And I guess what does these next couple of years look like for you to turn pro, I assume?
So I'll be 18 in December, actually. This will probably be my last fight at 17 in November. And then leading up, I'll graduate high school this semester. I'll graduate a little bit early. So that leaves the rest of my year. My plan is almost to take like a gap year kind of thing and then just put everything into fighting. You know what I mean? Go 100%, just train, fight, and just kind of live that lifestyle for maybe a year or so. And then, yeah, I want to go to Thailand too. I have some friends out there. My boy Dakota Hope, he's out there in Thailand right now. So I want to possibly get some training in there maybe next summer. You know what I mean? Make sure I'm ready to go up there. But yeah, these next few years, man, they're going to be big. It's really just everything's going to go up from here.
Yeah, and I think now's the time, and Max, you'd probably agree with this. Like, even when you're young, like looking back, you know, that's the time to find yourself, or take a year, take 2 years, and there's really no rush, especially at this age, whenever, especially in combat sports. But you agree with that?
Yeah, some kids go to college, other kids go to Thailand. You know what I mean? That's gangster with it, you know? Like, that's cool, man.
Yeah. Whenever you're looking at, I guess, some of these young guys, what kind of things are you looking at whenever you want to be, for your brand, for you to be affiliated with?
Probably heart, commitment, and consistency. Like, I grew up in Southern California, so like surf culture is like everything. I was actually talking to Master Boca. I'm like, jiu-jitsu is kind of like where surfing landscape was about 15 years ago. Like, parents started to pull their kids out of school to train more consistently. You have your Challenger Series, you have your qualifying series, you have your championship tour, and so like there's a series of events to be able to get to that pinnacle sport. And when you get to that pinnacle, you have about 6-year window from about 18 to 24 to really be competitive. So in order to get there, by the time you're 19, 20, you're drop-in ready. You need to have that consistency and that consistency and commitment. And I've seen he's got that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to him, and he's like, oh, yeah, I got to train here. It's like 10 different spots he named, bro. I'm like, dude, let's get the brand on you, bro. You know what I mean? 10 spots in a week. He's like, man, I'm driving $20 in gas to go to Spring so I could fight at 4 Ounce Fight Club, and then I got to go here, then I got to clean pools, I got to do this. I'm like, bro, loves it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so part of that surf brand culture is they started putting stickers on kids' boards when they were 13, 14 and just put them in tournaments. You know what I mean? Like Kelly Slater got on with Quicksilver early. You know what I mean? John Florence got on with Hurley really early. He was like 7 years old wearing the stickers in the brand. And then you give the stickers to kids. They put it up at high school. They put it on the skateboard. They put it on T-shirts. They put it on hats. And before you know it, you've got 38 kids wearing your brand, you know what I mean? And spreads like wildfire. So I saw Houston, and that's the identity. And I told him, I said, own the brand like it's yours, represent it like it's yours. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm about, is getting the kids. I want the kids in the wrestling team. I want the kids at the jiu-jitsu gym. I want the kids at the striking class, because that's where it starts for me. You know what I mean? I kind of went one way at 17, 18. I didn't go to Thailand. I started going to county jail. And you know what I mean? So like that was my direction. That's kind of what I chose. I wanted to party. I wanted to do my thing. I didn't really have that clear drive, that clear focus. I kind of bounced around and had a little bit too much fun. So when I see kids like Houston that are focused, determined, that's what the brand's about. You know what I mean? And so to sit where I'm at now, to be comfortable and be cool and be able to start a little brand, I want to start feeding the youth. And that's where it starts for me, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So Houston falls right in line with that brand and what it's about.
Houston, is it easy to stay out of trouble? I mean, even staying focused, like, hey, I gotta go train here. I gotta train here. I gotta go to work. But I mean, there's always things that are like trying to pull you away, huh?
Yeah, there's definitely always influences. I would say, especially at like this day and age, being 17, it's really easy for someone to be like, hey, let's go to a party, let's go drink, let's go smoke, let's go do this. But I think, especially when you get in your fight camp, for me at least, that's when I start to hone in. And for me, if I can keep myself on a schedule and I can say, all right, today I got to lift at 10, I got to go work out at 11, and then I got to go do jiu-jitsu at 5, right? I know that's what I'm doing that day, and I'm not going to let anything stop me from getting that done, right? So that's really how I look at it. I think I'm not against having fun and stuff. My personal philosophy is that kind of stuff can wait for after training. You know what I mean? So you get your hard works day in, and then you can do whatever you want after that. But make sure you're getting your work in.
Fighters are a special breed. You know what I mean? You either go one way or the next. You know, and so like it's easy to get caught up in the wrong little crowd. So I want to try to do what I can to keep kids engaged. You know what I mean? Keep them on the right track and not be circling back at 30 like, dang, I wish I would have done something a little bit different. You know what I mean?
Right.
For sure.
So I'm glad I had my little moment in time, and I'm glad I recovered the way I did. And then now it's empowerment. You know what I mean?
Right. You know, Michael Aswell, whenever I had him in here, he was talking about Coach Saul, you know, his coach that passed, and he always said, like, not to let life get in the way. Right. Something along those lines, how life can happen. It's like, man, you know, now I got a baby coming, now I got a DUI. Now that's why I always think, because life happens and all those things can happen, but you know, now if you can stay focused, and I tell my son this, my oldest, he's about to be 12, like at this point, you can literally do anything. Like if you pay attention and sit in the front of the math class, you'll be able to learn math if you're struggling with it, or if you wanted to go train, or you wanted to play basketball. There's literally anything you can do right now. Now's the time to do it. Right. So you just got to not let that life happen to where it pulls you away. So,
yeah, I didn't make it as a basketball player. I'm 5'11". I tried.
Yeah. Besides that, Taekwondo, was there any other sports that you were able to get into, or was it mainly just combat?
So as a kid, I was really active in sports. I was in Boy Scouts. I was in basketball, soccer. I always wanted to play football. My mom never let me. I was always too small. And then I ended up fighting, so whatever that happened. But yeah, I played baseball. I did a lot. There was a point where my mom told me, she actually said, like, you're doing all these things. I think I was in like 4 sports. She was like, I can't afford every single sport. You're gonna have to like calm down and just pick one. And then I ended up picking karate. And I think that was probably the best decision I ever made, was sticking with it. And then I think karate, especially for me, was not as much as the combat, but more the discipline as a kid. I think that my instructor, Ishmael Robles, down in Galveston at Martial Arts America, I think he definitely like instilled good morals into me and helped me like understand like the value of hard work and how all it takes to get to the top is really just putting your head down and working hard.
I think that's actually GMG's. Ishmael Robles is GMG's, like, that's who Grandmaster Guard is.
Right.
Yeah. When you were talking, I was like, dang, that's like what GMG's become for me.
Right.
Someone that I've kind of, and Cody and like the Garza family, and then everyone in the premier lineage.
Yeah, martial arts, it's it instills discipline, and even in a gym, it's like you're a part of a team, and it's an individual sport usually, but it's something bigger than yourself, and just accountability and a family, I would say.
Right.
You know, is that also there at 4 Ounce Fight Club?
Mm-hmm. I would definitely say that. I say at 4 Ounce, you don't get away with anything. Like if you messing up, you know, something happens, the coaches, they're gonna get on your ass about it, and they're gonna make sure that you're getting back to what you need to be doing, especially if you have a fight coming up. I mean, I've seen Daniel. He'll tell people, he'll be like, "I'll pull you out of the fight if you don't lock in." You know what I mean? So you just got to make sure. Like that's one of those gyms you're always on your toes. No matter what, you got to be at your top. They never let you slack or fall behind. They're gonna make sure that you're at the top or you're doing what you need to be doing.
Mm-hmm. Who there do you look forward to train with?
I'd say at 4 Ounce right now, for sure, Alden Correa and Josh Van, and Sebastian Rodriguez and Hayden Bryars. Those are all my training partners right now, helping me with my camp. And I definitely say Hayden Bryars and Alden Correa, they've really pushed me through most of my camp. And I say they've got me ready for this guy for sure, 100%.
Yeah, how's Sebastian doing? I'm a big fan of Sebastian.
Sebastian Rodriguez?
Yeah.
He's doing good. He's just recovered from his shoulder and everything. So he's back into it. I think he actually has a fight on the 22nd for Fury. Yeah,
there's on that card. There's a lot of guys out of ACS and Lamarck that are on there that I'm looking forward to. Like even a Ronde, Felipe Rocha, I think Chris Arnold. Like there's some guys that are down there that are on that card. Yeah. I like there's gyms on this side of town, but not really that many. You know, like when you get up into Houston, there's 4 Ounce and Metro and Sammy's and War and all that, but over here there's not really that many
there's
gyms.
A small selection. It is.
So I think it's nice even for you being around here, to find the guys that are down here so you can get training in all over.
Right. Yeah.
So where all do you train right now, and what's your schedule usually look like for a normal week or even in camp right now?
Man, my schedule is pretty crazy. I kind of go with the flow, but I would say, so for most of my week, I've been working for most of my camp. So I would be doing like from 8 to about 3-ish. I'd be doing my pool job Monday through Wednesday, but right now that's slowed down. So like today I'm gonna do this, and after this I'm gonna go run, and then I'll probably go hit some drilling in maybe with Hayden, and then usually I'll have a big session at night. That's always my biggest thing, is at night I have at least a big 2 or 3 hour session and really just push it as hard as I can, because I just want to make sure that just because I'm working doesn't mean I'm not training. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people, they may let that get in their way, but I feel like fighting comes first, and I'm at the job. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm at the job just to make some side money. You know what I mean? I'm really just trying to focus on my fighting. So on the next 3 weeks, I'm going to take off from work and I'm going to just train. So it'll really be at least 2 sessions in the morning before like 12. And then at night, I take like a break. And at like 5 or 6, I'll usually be at 4 ounce and I'll be training there with their team. I like to do like lighter sessions in the morning, like a run or a lift or something, just kind of like to get my blood flowing and get me aware. But I don't like to kill it in the morning, because I like to work hard at night. Just because I feel like if I fight at night, I want my like output of that day to be at night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. When do you said you're going to graduate here in a bit, but like when do you have time for school, or are you taking stuff online or taking classes, or how does that work?
So I do my school online through Texas Tech, and then the way that works is kind of like I have my own schedule. I get 6 months, like a 6-month period, and then I just get a bunch of assignments. They just give me a list. So what I really do is, like, let's say I go to work at 8, then I go train at 4 ounce, I'll get home maybe 10. I come home and I'll do schoolwork for maybe like an hour or two, whatever I feel like. I don't feel like doing schoolwork for 2 hours after I've trained and worked all day. So sometimes I just go to sleep and I'll save it for the weekends. But usually, yeah, it'll be work, gym, come home, eat dinner, shower, schoolwork, and then just reset next day.
See, I like that, because they keep kids at school like 8 hours,
Yeah.
8 hours a day, and not everybody is set up, you know, in that way, or that's not a good environment for them to be successful. And sometimes you see people get in trouble or just like not paying attention, where it could be condensed in like an hour. Like, can I get all this done in an hour, whether it's the beginning of the day, the end of the day, or like, let me do it on the weekend. I love that there's those options now. At what point did you figure out that was something that you were going to do? How long have you been doing that?
So when I was younger, when I was in about like 4th grade, I got a lot of fights, and then I had a lot of conflicts. My mom ended up taking me out of school, and then like that was also when I really started focusing on like fighting, was when I got out of school. That's when I started competing, because I had time. But the whole school thing, it never really worked for me, because I was a smart kid. I would get my work done, and then I'd sit there, and then that's when I got in trouble.
Right.
Like, I was a good kid. I'd keep my head down, but I would end up kind of like finishing all my work, and then I'd have nothing to do. So I'd be talking, or I'd like wander off, and I'm not paying attention, you know? Like, that's the kind of little things that happen for me. So I think my mom putting me in Texas Tech's online program, and then just letting me just do my work, and whenever I'm done, I'm done. And it's also up to me. There's nobody telling me, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you need to do your schoolwork. Hey, you need to do this. It all comes down to me at the end of the day. So I got to make sure that I have all my stuff done, so that when I take my finals and stuff, I already know the information. And then whenever that end date is done, I have all my work completed, so that I can go to the next grade and, you know, go on forward.
Cool.
So,
what do you think about all that, Max? That's kind of it's a cool thing that's offered now, huh?
Yeah, no. There was a social element to school that I held very near and dear to my heart. You know what I mean? And it's there was points where school was just a social setting for me, because I was similar to you. I finished from work, and then it was talk time. You know what I mean? Walk around, go to the bathroom, stay in the bathroom for 45 minutes.
But even for like for Houston, it's like, hey, he has that with fighting with his friends, and like a different family. That social stuff is just more things that he enjoys doing, and those other people enjoy doing too, instead of getting that there. Like, you know,
kind of set you up for college too, because I went back to school at like 28 to go to college, you know, and it's the same. It's you get your module, your book of assignments, and then you're like, all right, you can prioritize your time. You know what I mean? And it's a good lesson for real life, and not. I don't know. I like the model. It's something I'm actively kind of gauging to see what's best for my family. You know, because I have a 3.5-year-old. So it's what's the best option, you know what I mean? Right. And I think there's a social element of school, especially in the elementary years. But then as it goes up to the middle school and high school, still gauging the, I don't know. I guess, like you were saying, the 8 hours, is it really worth it? You know what I mean? Or there's a 4-hour window for the co-op or something like that. But
right. Yeah.
That's a whole nother discussion. That's a whole.
Yeah. The teachers are seeing your kids more than we are, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
At times during certain things. And Yeah, there's so many different things they can be involved in that also teach them life lessons and stuff.
I love the martial arts though. Like
Yeah.
being newer to the martial arts, I wish I would have. Like I was talking to Rafa, Boca's son,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, yeah, dude, he's 16, you know, and his friends are hitting him up, and they're like, hey, I think I might do jujitsu now. You know, he's been doing it since he's 6. And they're like, yeah, I think I'm gonna do jujitsu now. He's like, all my friends thought it was like karate, you know what I mean, or
Right.
taekwondo. They had no idea, and I was like, yeah, bro. They see the jujitsu guys walking around with like pretty cute chicks, very good shape, got cool gear. Like it's not that bad, you know. And so I'm super excited about it. That's why I've invested in it. You know, the future of grappling. It's like, dude, it's strong. You know, and like I'm much more jiu-jitsu minded. You know, I'm like. I don't box or strike too much. You know, I mean, watch all the UFCs, but just the martial arts as a whole, you know, the UFC, the MMA, like, that's it. Like, COVID kind of solidified it for me. You know what I mean? Like, it was 2020, and, like, there was a 4-month lockout with, like, no sports. So I was, like, football, basketball, watching all that a lot more. And then that lockout happened where they weren't showing anything, and Dana White kind of took it on the head and was like, yeah, you know what, we're running fights, you know? And that's, like, when I became, like, a fanatic about it. You know, I had watched some of the early stuff, like Rampage versus Rashad and BJ Penn, because he was training out in Costa Mesa near where I lived, and watching hit like fights with GSP, like that was cool. And but it wasn't on the forefront of my like sports mind. But then 2020, when COVID rolled around, and then Dana White was the only one running events, I was like, oh, this is it. You know what I mean? This is the future.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for the landscape of grappling and MMA as a whole.
For sure. I think jiu-jitsu's coming a long way too. Like jiu-jitsu is one of those things that I think I picked up having that taekwondo background. I had to pick my jiu-jitsu up, you know what I mean? I had to catch up. So I kind of got really into it, especially like during COVID. That was when I like studied it, you know what I mean? Cuz I didn't have anything to do. I just drilled at home, studied it, and I really got into jiu-jitsu, and I think it's come a long way. Like seeing ADCC, it's pretty legit. And then seeing like Craig Jones Invitational, that was cool. Like I hope like in the future I can compete in those kinds of like level of jiu-jitsu. It'll only make MMA better. So
yeah,
that's how I feel about it.
That's awesome. Whenever it comes to the MMA part though, what kind of goals do you have, or where do you see yourself going?
Honestly, I've heard a lot of people tell me I can go to the UFC. I'm pretty confident myself that I just keep my head down, you know what I mean, and just keep going. It's a straight path. So hopefully maybe 2 to 3 years I'll be in the UFC. Y'all see me on the big TV, not just Fury, or on the UFC Fight Pass. But, yeah, I see myself there. My goal isn't really just to get, like, a belt, you know, in the UFC or anything like that. I don't have that dream to be, like, a championship. I really just, what I want to take from fighting is I want to have a good career. I want to have some hard fights to be able to look at and be like, hey, I fought this guy. That was a tough 5-round fight. You know what I mean? Like, I want some stuff, like, some stories I can tell. And I want something to be remembered by. More or less. I'm not as worried about just getting a belt and then, you know, retiring. I want to really, like, establish myself as a fighter, and I want people to know my name. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Yeah, being at 4 ounce is good with, like, Daniel Pineda.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
dude
sure.
held it down for a long time, bro. That's a good dude to be training. Like, his model, like, that brand is freaking solid, you know? He locked that in.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
We got, you know, Josh Van, Michael Aswell, Justice Torres, like these guys that are doing it right now, you know, knocking on the door or in the UFC. It's a pretty good room to be in, I would assume, right?
For sure. I would say, like, the best thing about 4 ounce is somebody's always got to fight. You never walk into 4 ounce and there's not a name on the board with a check, like, ready for a fight. So it's really, like, it's hard to be not motivated when you have all your people around you train with, you sweat with every day, you bleed with them, and they got to fight in a week. So you got to keep your spirits up. He's got to fight in a week, you know what I mean? He's got to fight on the Contender Series. He's going to fight for Fury. He's going to fight for Elevate. He's going to fight for Peak. You know what I mean? There's always somebody.
Man, there's someone else out of 4 ounce too, and he was on that same card Justice was, and he got a win. And I assume that Justice is either going to get a short notice or get on the Contender Series, and 4 ounce has another guy that's up next to take that 145 145
Justice and Aswell, they're up next.
Yeah.
They're definitely up next.
Man,
That's like that gym out in Vegas, was it John Wood? I forget what it is, man, but dude, it's like every weekend they're out there, got a fighter.
somebody's on the card. Yeah.
Someone's going, you know, and I'm like, that's the kind of spot to be.
Yeah.
I love prepping for competition. That's what that's what I love is just preparing for competition. When you got 3 months, where you're like, all right, this is what the game plan is. This is what we're gonna do. This is how I'm gonna train. This is the level of intensity, and then you're surrounded by 40, 50 other dudes that are all in the same mindset and females. And then you got the 17-year-old like that's the spot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Man, so I had Jay in here too. Did you get a chance to watch any of his?
I watched a couple clips of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing. You know.
Yeah. Y'all get to cross train and train together quite a bit or no?
Yeah, I did my last camp with him actually. We do cross train a lot. He's got really good boxing, man. He's got some of the best boxing I've seen, especially so young. So he's helps me with my hands a lot, and then he's really good to grapple with. He's a solid fighter all around. I mean, he doesn't have any weaknesses. That's my boy Jay already. I've trained at his gym, Next Level. He's trained a 4 ounce. I actually met him at 4 ounce. He trained there on a Saturday, and then we beat each other up, and then we became friends. You know, that's how the best friendships start, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like it. I like the way Jay comes out. Like any fight he comes in, comes in like he's on fire. Like just he's still good. Like he's one of those people that was probably made to fight. As well.
I agree. Yeah, he carries that with him too. Like he's always like excited and like ready. Like he's he always has that aura to him.
He's just drank those three monsters.
Yeah,
and this 3 C4s in a row.
What's your walkout song? I was thinking about that.
I don't know yet for this next one. I was thinking I want to do something. Like I like keeping it kind of like old school, like Houston, like something hype. But I was thinking maybe some Kanye on this one. I don't know yet though. I don't want to play something that everybody else has heard.
Right.
But with me for walkout songs, like I'll be driving to the gym and the whole time I'm just thinking, oh, this would be badass.
That's bro.
Cool song. I'm just in my head. I'm walking out. I'm all like intense and stuff. So I don't know yet.
Get out the car, like hyped.
Yeah.
In your head,
bro. On the way to the gym, every morning, I'm like, oh, I think this would be my walkout song.
What song are you thinking, or like what kind of songs? Are you
Dude, it changes every day, but probably something by Big X the Plug, bro.
Yeah. He's got some good
dude. All of it, like.
I was thinking Mexican OT. He's good too.
Something like I'm not even from Texas, but I'll probably go Big X the Plug. I wouldn't do I'm from Texas, but I'm the biggest, the largest.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, I like that one. Or the Big Dogs by that Humana kind.
Yeah.
10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big step up.
Oh yeah.
That one's
There's one that the Texas, I'm from Texas or whatever. I did that on a Terrence Chapman highlight where he knocked out this guy from like Colorado, or he was from somewhere else.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and because that was the whole thing. I love asking people whenever they come in, because these I like whenever they match up Houston people from out of town, because we're always rooting for the Houston person on whatever card it is, But whenever they match up people from out of town against Houston, then it's like, okay, I'm representing my city, I'm representing my gym, it's the state of Texas versus somebody else. So I ask these people like, hey, have y'all ever been to Texas before? And a lot of them are like, I don't like it. It's just funny. I'm like, this is hilarious. Like,
what would be your walkout song?
So I've thought about this before too. Probably Bloodsucker by Acidy's Burn, which is like an old. That's my
Can you sing it for us?
I can't. No, it's like heavy, like guitar music, and then it's like screaming and stuff. I've thought about it before.
I maybe do Hell's Bells too.
Hell's Bells.
I want to walk out to some like some. I was thinking Rob Zombie, but I didn't know. I was thinking that might be cool though. Like,
I think it is, because nobody really does that. Like,
right? It'd be like some WWE stuff.
Yeah,
like Dragular, like Living Dead Girl. It'd be cool. It'd be cool.
Because everybody does like the hip hop, and it's like cool, it's chill, whatever. But then it's like some distortion and stuff like that. Like it would catch everybody off guard. But I remember the first time it was like at a Fight to Win, and last time they came to Houston was a long time ago. Yeah, and there was some guys that came out to somebody. I was like, I didn't even know you were allowed. You're allowed to do this? Like, that's actually kind of cool. Like,
yeah.
I went to a fight card. It might have been like, and my friend was fighting amateur. It was like maybe 8 or 9 years ago, dude. And I think 3 fighters came out to Lose Yourself, bro. By Eminem. I was like, all right, man. I would probably switch it up, do something that no one heard.
If I was the DJ, I'd be like, just so you know, 2 other people picked this exact same song. Are you sure?
Right. Yeah.
But then like one of my key things that I've remembered from UFC fight is when Sean O'Malley came out to Superstar, and he's like, if you are
Yeah, I remember
and
that
like the
one.
moment I was like, that's what kind of I was like, dang, that would be like you have to have something that's like very signature to that moment, you know. And then he came out and he laid like 280 punches on that one dude's hair. Like,
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that fight, dude?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So he was like dribbling.
Oh yeah.
Doing fadeaways.
The guy,
and
I
all
forget
stuff.
his name, with the green hair though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually found that like dribbling thing to kind of be pretty good for getting in rhythm, dude. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
have you done it?
I like, honestly, when I wrestle for jiu-jitsu, which is probably like the weirdest thing, but I like moving my head like that, and I actually feel shots open up because people, they like see you move your head,
React.
and then they react a certain way, and then you see, oh, that's opening, and you shoot in for that like double or whatever it is.
Yeah, you're doing those feints with kind of like the dribble and then
Yeah.
like drop and like kind of come back. Like I actually found like when you're like setting up your takedowns, or even when you're setting up your passing, like if you're in like a jiu-jitsu like live roll setting,
It's like, which way am I going?
hit those
Yeah.
like little feints, little dribble drive. Oh, I'm gonna penetrate. Oh, pull
Yeah.
back. Boom, boom, shoot.
And people do that in boxing too. I've seen that on some El Tigre cards that we do before, but it's almost like a dance. Like they do this thing where it's like a dance, and if you're not used to seeing that, and the punches come from like different angles and stuff, so it can throw off.
For sure. It's hard. And then, like, those kinds of guys, when you see people do like that, someone's in front of you dancing like that, and you try to hit them and you miss and you get popped in the face, that's so discouraging. Then you're sitting there thinking, like,
I just
oh,
got
shit.
crossed up and socked in the
Yeah,
face.
just over here, like, dancing and shit.
Get slapped by Jay Alderetti.
Yeah, I can see him
Like,
doing it. Yeah.
open hand slap.
Boom.
That is not the goal. Oh man. And like Raul Rosas, have y'all seen any of his grappling?
Yeah,
Like
he's legit.
yeah, whenever he does like jiu-jitsu competitions, he does the dribbling. He
Yeah.
does the
Was
dribbling
that
thing.
Chihuihuis? Chihuihuis?
Yeah,
Oh,
Chihuihuis.
yeah.
He does that stuff, and then he's like, next thing you know, he's on a double leg, boom, and a shot, or he's on your backpack, taking you down. But yeah, he does that.
I'm a fan of the
stuff.
dribble drive. If you haven't practiced it, don't do it. But
Yeah. I'm going to do it in my fight.
Bust it out. Coach will be like, "What are you, Frank? What are you doing?
yeah, your coach is like,
Trust me. Yeah, trust me. It's gonna work." Man,
how do you think you would do against the 35 like O'Malley?
Against O'Malley, you see, I think I was talking about this. Like, you know, Hayden Bryars, he's a tall, lengthy guy, so I would definitely use him for my camp. But I think, like, against a guy like O'Malley, I'd probably take him down. I think O'Malley, he doesn't look that strong to me, honestly. I bet in a jiu-jitsu match, I'd take him. Shit, I'll take him MMA match, too. I just got to get him down. Like, his hands are good, he's clean, he's accurate. But those kinds of guys, you just got to smother them, get in their face. You just can't give them a chance to, like, pick those shots. But if I'm right in front of you, like, I have a body lock, or I'm tearing up your body and you're on the cage, I'm pushing you forward, you don't have time to make those clean, pretty angles and
Right.
fight pretty like that. Like, I'm going to make it dirty. I'm going to make it to where we're both, you know what I mean? We both got to grind for that. And I honestly, I like to kind of pick the pace of, like, making scrambles and making people go at my pace so that I can exhaust them. And then when I'm ready, I'll turn it up even more. And they're already gassed out. They're done. So I
Yeah.
think that part comes in preparation, too. You got to make sure you're in shape, you're ready for the fight. But if you are, like, you can just drown people in your pace and just take them down, make sure that they're miserable the whole fight. You know what I mean?
right.
And they just really just kind of break them. They don't want to be there. Like, I feel like I did a good job of that in my first fight. Like, I feel like by the third round, he just didn't want to be there anymore. He was just done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, give them a way out. They're looking for a way out. Like, and I've been in positions like that where, like, if someone has you in mount and
Yeah.
they're like literally getting smothered, and it's like, oh my gosh. But if you try and rush to submission, I'm strong in the beginning, I could do it, but it's like, and I'm thinking like, are they gonna move?
Mhm.
Are they gonna do something? Please do something. Like take whatever, and you're looking for a way out.
Yeah, I've been in the third round of a tournament, like a jiu-jitsu tournament. You know, you do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many.
Yeah.
Been in the third round and put my hands on someone's lapel and been like, oh, this dude lost all will to fight.
Yeah, he's just tired.
Yeah.
Exhausted.
9-second submission, just rip him down to a guillotine. It's just like you could feel it. You could
Yeah.
feel it in their body. You could feel like this guy just doesn't want it.
Yeah.
That's
For
a
sure.
pretty good feeling.
It's like when you see that hand come up for that tap, like you're on like a choke, and they're
It's
like,
there.
and I'm like, oh, it's
They're
there.
thinking about it. They're
Yeah.
thinking about it. Speaking of, and I didn't watch this live, but did you see Robert Whitaker's teeth?
Oh my god.
Oh, bro.
That was
It's like
brutal to watch.
Popped in, and yeah, everybody was like, "What happened? What happened?" It's like, dude,
I
best
didn't
he
even
took
think
his
that was
teeth.
possible.
Yeah,
He
his
sunk
teeth
that
came
rear
out.
naked, and it was like instant, and it was like it didn't even look like he was on the neck. And then
It
I
was.
seen his teeth after,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, dude, just pushed his chin back, dude.
Man, Hamza's a beast, bro.
Yeah.
I like his fight, in my opinion, was pretty low key too. They didn't promote it a lot. Like I kind of found out about it like 2 weeks before, like, you know what I mean. And then I remember seeing the card, and I just watched him choke him out, and I didn't think he broke his jaw. Like, I had no idea. But when I saw the pictures on Instagram of like his teeth were in his mouth, I was like, ooh,
It's
that's
nasty.
brutal.
The Instagram comments 2 days before and 2 days after is like everyone's like, oh, Comsat doesn't stand a chance. Oh, it's over. Whitaker, you know. And then the 2 days after is like, who's gonna be able to stop Chimaev? No one.
People forget. And it's been a minute. Yeah, people forget.
Who in the UFC do you look at? I mean, do you look at like Ilya and you're like, all right, cool, I want to strike like that, or do you look at like Marab, you're like, I want to grapple? Like,
So for me, honestly, especially coming from that Taekwondo background, Wonder Boy, definitely one of my biggest like guys I wanted to fight. Like I like Wonder Boy. I really like Sean O'Malley. I do. I like the way that he boxes and how he stays like just out of range and he's perfect. Changes those angles, boom, boom, right down the middle. Who else? I say for grappling wise, like Khabib. You know what I mean? He's
Right.
pretty like cliche, but his stuff works. It's simple, you know. Like the Dagestani handcuff. That's the kind of thing that you can take. You can watch it in the fight and then practice it in the gym, and then within a week you can start doing it and then make it your own. You know what I mean? Those are those little things that I like to do. I like to take like bits and pieces from fighters and I watch them. I think of it like they're giving me like a blueprint that I just copy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everything that works for him is gonna work for me, but I can try it, and if it does, I can make it my own and make it work better for me. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
yeah, I was tripping. I watched Boca because I'm like thinking of all these like ornate ways to like, oh, these like theatrical passes, and it's just like drop the hips,
Simple.
push
Yeah.
back, push, pull. It's just like really like micro movements and just pressure that just creates like really nice little sequences. Before you know it, he's in full mount and strangling you or breaking your arm. You know, and like you said, like there's nothing super spectacular about Khabib. It's just that constant pressure, the handcuff, the movement, working his way up the body, and
Yeah.
So
That's
freaking
funny.
strong though.
you're like, oh, I'm gonna. Yeah, I think I'll beat up O'Malley, but he's one of my idols.
Yeah.
That's what I love about UFC is like, or like MMA in general. It's like, yeah, I could take him, but I really respect him. That's like what Ilya did his whole fight camp with Max Holloway. You know what I mean? He's like,
Yeah.
man, I respect him, but I'm gonna beat the crap out of him.
For
I'm gonna
sure.
take him.
That fight hurt to watch too, man.
I love
was
Holloway.
Max is a big one that I like to watch just because he always brings it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He never comes to a fight and looks like, oh, that wasn't Max Holloway. Like, you never say that. Maybe this time. I don't know.
It was a fluke.
Maybe this didn't happen.
Yeah, him and Volkanovski. Like I mean, I remember thinking, I was like, I thought Max Holloway won that.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know
one
what
of
I
them
mean?
for sure.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, I guess, what happens. It's gonna do, Volkanovski, get him another run it back or something. That's what it looks like.
Topuria has that confidence, dude. That's like annoying, but you're like, that dude really believes in himself.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that ultimate belief that's like, oh, he actually meant that. Like he sounded crazy and sounded super narcissistic and arrogant, but he like legitimately in his
Showed it.
heart believes that, and he showed it.
Yeah. I think like if he altered something on his persona outside, like his talking and stuff, everybody would love it because it's like the difference between like Connor and him because people were like, bro.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like the heel in WWE.
It
you know what I
is.
mean? Like the artist formerly known as WWF. Like you have to have those like, I'm the bad man. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
You want this, you come to me.
Right. Yeah, but I'll still watch like Connor promos or after like I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. You know, like, it's still like I watched it this morning. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta watch this because if it shows up on my like algorithm, like yeah, I'll watch it every time. It's iconic, you know. But I'm sure at the time people didn't like him, but he was the biggest thing.
No, for
then,
sure. Yeah.
So
He's the best promoter I've ever seen, dude.
Yeah.
When you do your post fight interview after you get your win, you gonna go villain mode or are you gonna go humble? Are you gonna go all glory to God? Like which avenue are you gonna
Yeah.
take?
Me personally, it's gonna depend on how my fight is. Like, let's say I get like a crazy, like he comes out, he shoots, uppercut, boom, 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 I knock him out. I'll probably like jump on the cage and go all crazy. But if it's like a good like 3-round fight, I'll probably just have like a normal like all glory to God. Thanks for everybody coming out. I'm excited about this finish. I'm ready for what's next. Something like that.
yeah,
So
even you speak very well. Like you interview very well too, so that goes a long way in this sport, I would say.
I appreciate that. I do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Has that always been something that I guess communication has always been pretty easy for you?
A little bit, it's always been I have a hard time reading people sometimes, but I definitely say that it's not too hard for me to talk. I kind of just say what's on my mind, and then I try to just be honest, be upfront, kind of
Mhm.
like lay out who I am, so people, if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I'm not here to appeal to anybody, you know. I want people to like me for who I am, you know what I mean? So I try to like stay true to myself.
That's good. That's cool. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I'd like to thank my sponsors, and I'd like to thank 4 Ounce Fight Club and G County Boxing for training with me. I'd like to thank Joe Delgado, Texas Realty, for sponsoring me for this fight. I'd like to thank my man for sponsoring me for this fight. Hardstyle, super comfortable, good athletic jiu-jitsu clothing, clean. You're going to be the freshest person on the mat. I've gone to multiple open mats, and every time I have someone say, bro, where'd you get that rash guard from? I'm like, man, Hardstyle, man. Like, you got to check it out. It's a new wave. So, yeah, for sure. But, yeah, that's all for me. Anything?
Yeah, so Hardstyle Unlimited, we're on Instagram. Huge appreciation for my guy Gardy right here, man. He's been helping me promote, helping me get content, helping me kind of navigate the realm of social media and Instagram. Huge shout out to freaking Houston right here, bro. He was like I said, our first sponsored athlete. I mean, he's the future of the brand. He's the future of MMA. I mean, this is the style that we want. You know what I mean? These are the confidence, the consistency, determination. So, I mean, it starts with the youth, dude, and this is where it's at. And so, yeah, Hardstyle Unlimited, freaking selling out fast. I'm having trouble keeping stuff in stock, but we're gonna set Gardy up a little promo code when our next shipment comes in, and yeah, over the next year, man. So hoping to get some more fighters, in talks with a couple dudes right now. So, yeah, hopefully by the end of the year, we got a good landscape to be able to support more fighters and kind of get that name out. And there's not many places in the United States better than Houston in terms of amateur fighting and semi-pro. You know what I mean? With Fury, Elevate, like these gyms around here, like you guys were saying, it's just this is where it's at, and this is where I'm supposed to be. And so I'm loving it. And like you said, bro, the freshest on the mat, dude.
Sir,
That's what it is. It's combining art with art, you know. And so that's the whole goal, and it's unique to us. It's our design. It's our brand. And this is what it's about. So. Thank you, Gardy.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out today. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you for having
This is Gardy with Clear Life Media, Clear Life Combat. Check out Max, Hardstyle Unlimited. Make sure you hit up Houstin Marza. Follow him on social media as well. Y'all be blessed.